Welcome to Map It Out, Episode 8. We have our first guest on the
sir.
podcast, Alan. We're
Yes,
super
sir.
excited. Mr. Joshua Prock, head coach of the WT women's basketball team. They're getting ready for the Lone Star Conference Tournament, taking on St. Mary's on Friday at the KAMR Center in Frisco. Coach, let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
Got through the regular season.
Yep.
Here comes the postseason. Just what's going through y'all's minds right now as you enter into the postseason?
I mean, there's a lot of excitement. I mean, you get towards those last couple road series and the home series of the season. I mean, you're really starting to get excited about the postseason, knowing that you still got to finish off the regular season the right way, you know. And then obviously, we were down Carly Machenbacher for a couple weeks there, and so that was. I mean, a lot of kids had to step up and play, and credit our kids, they did, and. You know, they're excited right now to be in the postseason. I mean, we've got a great seed. We like our draw, like our bracket. But,
Yep.
you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, St. Mary's is a very, very good team. I mean, it's not going to be easy. And then you play the winner of that. You play the winner of Tyler and Angelo, both very, very good teams. So, I mean, whether you're on this side or that side, they're both going to be tough. But, I mean, you got to have confidence in your kids. Your kids got to have confidence in what you're doing. And I think our kids are ready.
Absolutely. I mean, when it comes to how special this team is, we've spoken about it a couple of different times, whether it's been on air or off air. This has been a very, very special team to see throughout the season. And when it comes to, like, some of those statement moments or kind of highlights as you reflect on the regular season, obviously the task in hand is still the task in hand, getting ready for the conference tournament and beyond. But I remember not even when the season actually started, but those exhibition games.
Yeah.
Like, we remember that Arizona win back in October, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And granted, exhibition games, you always want to win regardless of it, but it was kind of in one of those, like, that first moment, I thought to myself, like, this could definitely be. This is definitely a special team to kind of keep up with. I mean, this is like you always want to schedule those types of exhibition games, but
After Arizona, I was like, oh my goodness, let's
absolutely.
go, man.
Yeah,
Let's
take us through that moment, especially some of the moments afterwards. Like with again exhibition game, but you always want to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, so I think I even start back and just to real quickly, briefly talk about even in September when we're watching these kids work out and how connected they are and how much they love being around each other. I mean, so you kind of knew then that this team has a special qualities about them. So we, like you said, we go play SMU first exhibition game. You know, and we decided we were going to kind of change the lineups up a little bit, mix different kids in just to see start different people and stuff like that. So against SMU, we started off real slow, but by the end, I think it was 3 or 4 minutes to go, and we were down 4 or 5 points. I mean, we had a chance to beat them early, and that's when we kind of knew that okay, we got a chance to compete in these games for sure. Well, then 2 days later, we go play Arizona, and I'll be honest with you guys. Again, this is not like being cocky, egotistic, or anything like that. I usually go into those games. I don't even look at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm just worried about what we're doing, trying to get better at what we're doing. They're bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic, and so it's just trying to watch what we're doing. I mean, I look up in the second half, and we were up 20 on Arizona, and I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. And so now we held on, give them credit. They fought back, and they actually had a shot to tie the game at the buzzer to send it to overtime. You know, fortunately for us, they missed. And then you turn around the next couple of days and go play Baylor, who, you know, I think they were picked second or third at that time preseason poll, and they were top 15 in the country, and deservedly so. I mean, they were very well coached, very, very good team, and they tested us in a lot of different ways. The other two teams didn't test us, and so that was good. And so, you know, he finished up that game and then got back and then started off the regular season, started off with a bang, played the defending national champions, Grand Valley, and I was proud of our kids because, I mean, that's going to be a little more intense game just because, even more so than the exhibitions, because now it counts, right? And so we're down, I think, 4 or 5 with like 4 or 5 minutes to go. And, I mean, they ended up beating us, give them credit, made their free throws. And so that was tough, but then turned around the next day and beat Northwest Missouri. And then we knew we had another tough test. You know, we had a test against Colorado Mesa. And I don't know how much people were paying attention to the region standings over the last couple of weeks, but if people saw their record, I want to say right now they're 29-1. Yeah. We're the only team to beat them.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So
that's huge.
I mean, they're really, really good. Yeah. And then the other game that kind of stands out for me in the non-conference, 2 other games, we played at Colorado Springs, who's a regionally ranked team as well too. And you know, we did really well in that game. We kind of controlled the game from start to finish. You know, and so. And then we go to, right before Christmas, we took our team to Hawaii, which was an amazing experience for those kids. And we played a team at Ferris State, you know, who I think at the time they were a top 20, top 15 ranked team, something like that. But anyway, we you know, at halftime, you look up and you realize you're up 40-19 on this team. I mean, I was real interested to see it because our first game in Hawaii, those first 3 days we did some sightseeing and some fun stuff. And so where's the focus of your kids? I mean, are they mature enough to do all that and then get focused to play? And we're at 40-19 at half. I looked at my coaches like, this is going to be a special group. So we won that game. Obviously, we finished off with Hawaii Pacific, and then turn around here in the spring. It's just been straight LSC and been a grind. So proud of our kids where we are, and excited to see what this postseason brings us.
Right, and they coined the term in college football, quality loss, right?
Yeah.
26-3, those 3 losses. I don't know if it gets more quality loss than that. I mean, I'm sure you learned some great lessons in the game. I mean, number 1 team in the country, number 3 team in the country, and then always tough rivalry matchup against Eastern New Mexico.
Absolutely.
In those games, what do you learn from those 3 losses?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely take away a lot. I mean, like you said, give all 3 of those teams a ton of credit. I mean, all 3 of them, they all played really well, and. Unfortunately, we came up just a bit short, and especially those last 2 games where they both went to overtime. We had a chance to win Eastern game in regulation and then had a chance to win the game in overtime against TWU. Just didn't get the stop and didn't get the basket that we needed. But again, we learned a lot with our kids. And sometimes, look, I even admitted this to our girls yesterday. Sometimes after losses as coaches, you have a tendency to overreact sometimes and try to change too much. And I felt like even those first couple weeks after we got beat, I tried to do too much. Yeah. And honestly, I had our girls do this exhibition yesterday of literally reach down and take the shackles off. I said, I've hindered you a little bit too much. You know what I mean? It's time to just go play. We're entering the postseason, go play. I think one of the things I learned from working for Coach Sampson was you got to look yourself in the mirror and be honest. What are you doing? We can always point the finger to the players and they need to do this, they need to do that. No. It starts with you. What are you doing? What do you got to do better? And that's what I really try to challenge our girls with, explain to them, hey, this is what I'm doing wrong. Because I'm not perfect, never have been. There's no perfect human being to ever walk this earth. There's only one, and he died for all of us. So at the end of the day, I got to do my part and show our kids, hey, this is where I've messed up. Now let's all go get this better.
Absolutely. I mean,
amen, bro. I love it.
It's incredible. And when it comes to, the box that you need to check off for I've said it from good teams, great teams, championship caliber teams. It always starts with leadership, and again, you and Coach Sherman have been the perfect fit for this program over these past couple of years, and hopefully that continues obviously for years to come. But it's always great to have that level of accountability in the locker room with the teammates. It was a big thing for myself playing football and even some bits in basketball as well. And you need to have that type of balance of not only you guys putting them in the right spot, but that level of communication within the group themselves. I mean, you have 8 seniors with this team. I mean, I can only imagine just the type of communication, as you said a little bit back in September, the intangibles, some of those great communicating, those communication qualities that you need to have for a good team. Talk to us a little bit more about the importance of that, especially when it comes to these 8 seniors. Yeah,
the communication and accountability is very important. I think, getting back to I felt like probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, just, you're getting towards the end, it's a grind. You can get frustrated as a coach sometimes with some things, and nothing better than my life partner, to me. Yeah. My best friend in the world, my wife, nothing like her to give you a self-check, right? Hey, I see what you're doing. You need to do that, and but it's what I want. She sees things that maybe I don't see, and stuff. So, so I try to have those accountability things within myself, and our players have that within themselves. They check each other, what are you doing when this happens? What are you doing when that happens? And try to communicate. And that's one of the big things. And I think a lot of times with these kids, I think it's people. People in general have got to be better at communication. And it's our job as a coach to try to teach these kids how to be better communication-wise. Because you want them, when they leave your program one day, to be able to go to their boss, to their friend, to their spouse, and communicate things. You know what I mean? So your job is to do that. So you hit the nail on the head, Alan. I think communication is such a big part, not just in the game, but just in life. These kids got to learn how to communicate the right way, because that's a big part of it, So, but I've been proud of our kids. I mean, I think the results are there, where they show 26-3. I mean, this team has communicated very well. You're going to have the ups and downs. I remember back, I was telling my coaches just the other day, my very first year we went to Elite 8. I remember those last 2 weeks, it was a grind too. We went to St. Mary's, and God bless them, they played great against us. They were 1-21 coming into the game. And I think we missed 50 shots that game. It was something crazy. And they ended up 2-22 on the year and beat us. I mean, a team that hosted the regional, they beat us. Won 2 games, right? So, and so then we turned around, we played Kingsville and International the next week, and it was kind of a struggle both of those games. But
Yeah.
Once that postseason light turned on when we went to Frisco that year, it's like a completely different just a mindset. And that's the thing with kids, and you guys know this, is that it can change like that.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, talk a little more about the team. So, I mean, we talk about how unselfish they are and just, how special this bond is. How special is it to see a team like this be so close and have such great, just a great bond and finish with a record like that and just coming into postseason play, getting the mindset right. What's different about this team?
Yeah, it's fun to watch, like you said there, Max. Like, it's fun to look at these girls and see how much fun they're having together. And I think, recently we, leading up to senior day, we put out a graphic for each one of our seniors. Mm-hmm. One of the things I love to read in there is about the relationships they've built with each other. That's what it's about. That's what they're going to, like, look, you as a player to coach, you're going to stay in touch. You're going to see your kids. They know you're there for them. You're going to help them, this and that. But really the lifelong friendships are what they build with each other, And so when you see the kids talking about that, and those kind of releases and stuff, that's when you're like, okay, this is special, this is fun. These kids, like I said, from day one, you could see it. You could see the connectedness, the togetherness. We went to early on, just kind of a end of the regular preseason, get ready for the season, kind of went to a Sod Poodles game where we just hung out together, and I could see it there. Like we go out to eat and people are hanging out with different people. Sometimes, people, they're going to sit with this group, they're going to sit with that group. I mean, I think these girls feel like they could call anybody and they would be there for them. Like, it's not one of those things where I got to, like, for example, Alan and our team, I got to always call Alan.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I can call Max too, and, Fred over there, whatever. You can call anybody, and they know that they'll be there for each other. So that's really fun to watch too.
That's awesome. What is, like, how does this team different from any other team you've had, like, as far as on the court? The communication's great, but just how they perform this year as well, what's been different in that regard?
Well, I mean, I think you see the experience with these kids. I mean, you've got, like Alan mentioned a while ago, 8 kids that have played a lot of basketball. I mean, a lot of basketball. I mean, one of the special things, and I said this in the locker room yesterday to the girls, is when Kyla King first committed to us, one of her, I remember I was sitting in a Walmart parking lot in Orlando. It was my very first year. I was in Orlando watching a AAU tournament, and so anyway, I was there, and she calls and commits and says, Coach, I want to be one of the first classes to bring WT a national championship.
Wow.
And so I said that to, the other day, and I said, like, you guys are, I've always been one to face the reality. Like, people say, well, don't talk about, no, talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you guys have a legit chance. I mean, you're going to be, because I always felt like no matter how many teams they put into now in Division I, it might be 3,000 teams they're putting in. Who knows how many teams are going to start letting in Division I.
Exactly.
It's a lot. I think it's 68 now, right? But still, we have 64. So if you're in that field, there's 64 teams that have a chance. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it. Everybody else is home at that point, So once we get there, then you win. Then you're one of 32 teams. You know what I mean? You just keep going lower and lower. You don't have to play everybody. You just have to beat the team that's on the court.
Yeah.
And this team has the ability to do that. They can win 3 games in a regional, and then they can. I mean, right now, from a numbers standpoint, I mean, I'll see what after this weekend what turns out. But you win, where our numbers are only going to go up. And the way they're going to do if we were blessed enough, win the regional, if we can get to the Elite 8, the way they're going to seed that is based off of KPI. So let's say, like, we're 8 in KPI, and there's only one other team ahead of us. Let's say it was Grand Valley, right?
Yeah.
Well, at that point, Grand Valley becomes the number 1 Elite 8 seed, one more national seed. Now we become number 2.
Yeah.
So they're just going to straight KPI standings is how they're going to rank that. So for us, we're 12 right now. And when you look at the teams ahead of us, there's 4 or 5 teams ahead of us there's 2 or 3 other teams that are ahead of them that are in the same region.
Yeah.
So both of those teams can't go. So you start doing the numbers and eliminating things. For us, for example, Texas Women's is 4, we're 12, right? Mm-hmm. Well, only one of us are going. Yeah. Both of us can't go, so that just eliminates another team. So we got a chance to have, if we can take care of business, have the seed, because the higher seed you get in the Elite 8, it's not an easy path because everybody there is good. Yeah. But the path becomes more, like, for example, Texas Women's, a couple of years ago, they made the national championship. Yep. They got great draws the entire way. Made it all the way to the national championship. Unfortunately, they came up short, but, it was that helps the higher you can be.
Definitely. I mean, when the personnel with this team this season, which, again, incredibly special team, like much like with football, like I'm a guy who loves the trenches, love the lines of it all.
Right.
Basketball, similar point. I always love the front court play. I always love having the type of presence, not only from a defensive standpoint, because that's just kind of been the traditional thing that goes with being a big in basketball. But now in this new wave of basketball, you have versatile bigs. You have those who are able to stretch the floor. You have those who are able to bring the ball up the floor, show every bit of the skill set when it comes to being a player. And going back, back when I had my show and we were first talking about this incoming, freshman class, and you spoke nothing but just high praise for Henley West.
Yeah.
Like talk about how you've seen her progression throughout this season, because there have been some moments where she's come up huge for the Lady Buffs.
Well, if you think about a kid like Henley, and that's one thing I always try to help freshmen along the way is like, right now if she was still in high school, she's getting close to playing for a state title.
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't even started our postseason yet. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the college season is a lot longer, and we start sooner with those exhibition games. So the season is extended out so much farther, and you really start back in September, like we talked about. I mean, think about basketball. You play to the Elite Eight. I mean, we're going from early September to the end of March. Yeah. So in essence, these kids get 1 month, April, to be a college kid. Yeah. And so that's a big adjustment for a kid. But Henley's handle everything with an unbelievable amount of energy, an unbelievable amount of stick-to-itness. It's been fun to watch her. I mean, she's definitely had moments where she's got to get better. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, she looks at it like, I didn't play well this game, and she picks herself back up. And so I think the ups and downs has been fun to watch because you see how she's picked herself up. And that's typical for a freshman. Yeah. It's typical for a lot of kids. Like, I mean, even as a coach, if you want to admit it, like there's games where you're like, thank God the players bailed me out today because that was a terribly called game. I did not do a very good job of that. No. And I think if you're honest as a coach, you got to admit that. Like, that's going to happen. Like, you're not going to be perfect every season. And so hopefully, like, same thing with the players, like, they don't play as good, right? So let's try to manipulate the game as coaches to help them out so we can get it. Because it's just a combined effort. And Henley's understood that to a high level. She's been great. I mean, she has, look, on most teams around the country, she's probably starting. Yeah. I mean, and it's not that she doesn't deserve to start. It's just these other kids are playing well. Yeah. These upperclassmen, I mean, you talk about our front court, you talk about Taylor Hagan, too.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that I always have to get on her, she's physical, right? Yeah. Well, she plays like her dad. Mario Hagan, for those that don't remember, was a middle linebacker in the NFL for 10-plus years. I said, Taylor, like, you're not trying to blitz like your dad right now. Like,
you're not trying to get a sack, man. You're not trying to tackle for a loss out here.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I know he taught you that, but let's... we got to back off that a little bit. I need you to finish the game.
You got to throw an elbow.
Right,
absolutely,
right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, she'll do it. No problem.
Yeah. And she's been great for sure. One more question about the team, and I think Alan has a recruiting question as well.
For sure.
What player, maybe one single player or maybe a couple, has actually like surprised you? Taking on a bigger role or just doing a better job than you expected?
I think here late in the year, I'm not, and you hate to use that word. I mean, but it's a good word to choose. A good word to choose. Surprise. But I think the young lady that's really come into her own lately, and Tatum Bell.
Yeah.
I mean, lately she has been
former Lady Sandy.
Yeah. Former Lady Sandy, just been phenomenal. I mean, and like, look, give this kid a ton of credit. I mean, I think most people in the area know. She had a child in early July of last year. So talk about a big time life adjustment. You're always proud of all your kids, but man, what that kid's been through and where she's at today has just been. That's when the joy in the coaching really comes out because you get to see all that she's fought through, and to see where she's at today. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and so. I say she's probably one. I mean, you could pick a number of kids for that, that next one. Probably one of the kids, I mean, it's not, everybody knew she was good, but to really come back and play at the level Carly's playing, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, you didn't know what to expect. She took a full year off. Yeah. And even that last year, it was a tough grind for her. She was banged up and hurt. Now, it's been fun to watch because she's bounced back and been phenomenal. Like, and you look, she's been out for the last couple of weeks. Like, I can tell from a game plan standpoint, watching the other coaches and their strategy against us, offensively, their game plan has completely changed without her on the court. Yep. Like, when she's on the court, whether people say, well, she only scored 2 points today, but you got to understand, everything they do is to take away her drives, take away what she does. Yeah.
Well, she's got passion, man. She's got drive for sure.
Right. I'd say those two kids. I mean, again, everybody's been. I mean, you look at Kyla Kane, preseason player of the year. I mean, has lived up to the hype. I mean, if she got the player of the year, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's probably a couple kids at TWU that I think probably will get it. Yeah. But I mean, if she got voted Player of the Year, I don't think it'll come as a surprise to anybody.
No,
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that entire team you see is just really, really stepped up. I mean, there's been a kid that just make a big play in a big moment, or just score, pass, defense, whatever it is. I mean, it is kind of. I'm sure it is hard to pick someone that's surprising, but
and another kid, I mean, was Randy Harding.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at one game that recently stands out to me. So we played Texas International, and they like to press the entire game. So it's one of those kind of situations where it was a hard game to prepare for because you play Kingsville on Thursday, which you got to prepare for that first, and then you play International. So didn't really have a full practice to prepare for that press. And so early on, it kind of got us. But I tell you, the young lady that kept us steady, and she's just the quiet assassin. She doesn't say a whole lot.
Yeah.
And that's just Randy. I mean, in that game, I think she had like 15 or 16 points. But the biggest thing stood out to me, she played a lot of minutes, 8 assists and 1 turnover against a team that pressed the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, she could score and pass. I mean, she stood out on senior day. She was passing the ball, but she had 18 points as well. So, I mean, definitely a good leader for
and
that
speaking
team.
of kids that step up, we don't win Saturday without Chloe Callahan.
Right.
You know, 11 points. We were struggling to score early on. She comes in, boom, instant offense.
She capped that game off with a block at the end.
Yeah.
That was awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that was good. I was like, all right, defense too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, again, this team has been so much fun to watch. I mean, I feel like I've said it before, but definitely will continue to say it. You guys have been such a great fit for this program throughout these years. It's such a great staff, you know what I mean? And when it comes to the team itself, always great to have not only great players, great IQ players, be able to play efficient basketball, but, I mean, as we've seen it and we're getting ready for the end of the season here in a couple of days, it's been such a deep scene of basketball here in the area when it comes to high school basketball, you know what I mean? Like Tatum Bell, huge Amarillo High, you know what I mean? Like when you talk about, recruiting throughout the Panhandle, the Kane sisters, like the list goes on throughout these past couple of years, Zoe McBroom as well, from Canyon High. Talk about, a little bit of a two-part question here, talk about how you've seen the high school scene throughout this season. And as we are looking into reloading, as I've said, reloading rather than rebuilding, still being able to have some standout talent from the 806 in the form of, Ella Brown coming in, going into next year as well. Like, talk a little bit about how you've seen the future of Lady Buff basketball, essentially.
Well, when I think you guys remember, I don't know if you guys were at my first press conference or not, but the thing I told the administration here is my goal is to, you go from Lubbock over to Wichita Falls, kind of go up to the Oklahoma Panhandle a little bit, and then cut over, the eastern New Mexico, western Texas border there. I mean, that's a fence, and we want to build it. And I don't want anybody coming in here taking our players, And so if we feel like they can play at this level, we want to keep them home.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at the state. Usually every year down in San Antonio, it's littered with West Texas teams. So not only do you have great talent, but you have great coaches. I mean, too long of a list. I don't want to start mentioning names because I'll leave somebody out, and I don't, so many great coaches in this West Texas Panhandle area. And like, when you get a kid that's been coached like that, they're right? They're ready for college. I mean, these coaches do a tremendous job of preparing them for our level and what we're going to do. So yeah, you're right. I mean, we recently, like you just mentioned there, Alan, we signed Ella Brown. Last name rings a bell for me. That is Tom Brown's
coworker, right?
What exactly? What is that conversation? You just going like across the hall of like, hey, you're like a really great player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Tom, this one's on you. I wonder. No, you know what's funny is I went into my AD's office and I said, hey, with Ella, if I have a parent problem, I'm going to send them to you, Doug. Like, I'm not going to. But then he turned around and says, nope, she's your player. And I'm like, So, no, Tom and I, all joking aside, Tom and I have a fantastic relationship. I've got so much respect for him. Obviously the job he's done is second to none at this level and what he's been able to do. So he's been a great mentor to me and a great, co-worker, whatever you want to call it, over there. So I've been blessed to be around him and Coach Gove. And then, first it was Quincy Henderson and David Chavovich and now Zach Toussaint. Just great people, great coaches that have been here. And so we've been blessed to be that. And then, Tom and Trish have done a fantastic job of raising all three of their kids. They're 2 boys and now Ella. Just great character kids, great kids that work hard, that understand what work ethic looks like. And so Ella's going to come in and be a perfect role player for us. And then there's other kids in this area that we're recruiting really heavy that we're trying to get. I mean, obviously people know there's kids all over this place, so we're hoping to get at least 1 or 2 more and finish out this class the right way.
Absolutely love it. I mean, again, when it comes to bring personnel together for not only what you need on the floor, but also just helping to make them into great individuals. I mean, as someone who's been through that system, even if it's been for a couple of years, I mean, it's something that you truly, it stays with you. You know what I mean? Like the culture that you guys have been able to build, it's always a great thing to still have the level of communication. But even throughout the past couple of years, even having former players still wanting to be involved in the program as well. Talk to us a little bit about that and like how special that type of bond has been for former players throughout the years.
Yeah, the Lady Buff basketball tradition runs really deep.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear from former players a lot about great job, keep up the tradition, coach. And I mean, shoot, when we go to Frisco, it's like an alumni reception there. I mean, they come out, even girls that have played for me. I love it because especially like the first year we had Taylor Williams, Haley Jansen, Lauren Taylor, several of these girls that live up in the Dallas area now. Boy, they come behind your bench, and that's the only cheering section you need.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
they are great and motivated
Awesome.
and get rolling. So the Lady Buff basketball is what it is because of the young ladies and the ladies that have come before us.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to even the coaches, Bob Schneider, Krista Gerlich, Mark Kellogg, Krista Matteo, like just fantastic coaches that laid just an unbelievable framework and groundwork for us to follow in the footsteps. That's all we're doing. We're not trying to recreate the wheel here. We're just trying to continue up the tradition that's been established.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
love that, absolutely.
Hey, all right. We've talked enough, about Lady Buff basketball. I'm sure you're
Let's
ready
do
to
it.
talk about something
it's so
else. I
good.
mean, let's get into some different kind of basketball. How about the
Yes.
NBA right now? So,
Yeah.
we talk a lot about the Spurs and the Thunder, but this guy's a Suns fan over here.
Yeah, man.
They're 7-7 right now.
Yeah,
That's what I
7
believe.
seed, yeah.
Right on that play-in line right there.
Yeah.
What do you expect out of your Suns moving forward the
Well,
rest of the season?
I don't know. I just hopefully health.
Right,
we've
yeah.
been-
Yes.
I mean,
Jalen Green not pointing any fingers.
Man. It's like, if I can
Get
say
'em,
really
bros.
quick, right? Like that the KD trade of it all, which again I'm excited to see how Houston has been. I mean, Reed Shepherd was on an absolute heater just the
Yeah.
other night.
Yeah.
But I do think that this could be one of those trades where the Rockets could be in a good situation now, maybe for the next 2-3 years, depending on
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, his availability, things
Yeah.
like that. But when you truly look at the long term for the Suns, I've said my piece, unfortunately, against Jalen Green. But whenever he is there, healthy, he still has every bit of that potential to be
Sure.
one of the true premier players and scorers that this league has to offer. You know what I mean? Like when that trade first came through, and with the availability, there have been some bright spots
Yeah.
with Jalen Green throughout the season. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think one of the things that I loved, I thought that it was a great reset for the Suns.
Yeah.
Brian Gregory, Jordan Odd deserves a ton of credit, the coach. Look, those other coaches will come in and play the Suns, and they'll be like, "That's the hardest playing team in the NBA."
Mm-hmm.
They play so hard, and I think as a fan, for me being a coach, that's what's fun to watch is how hard those guys compete on a nightly basis. So, you mentioned the Rockets. I agree with you. I think this is one of those trades in NBA history people look back on that benefited both teams. I don't think that neither team was a loser. I think both teams were winners. I think it was good for Kevin to go on a team that has a lot of young talent. They didn't have to really give up a lot of those pieces.
Yeah.
Obviously, had to give up something. When
Yeah.
they had to give up Jalen. But even Dylan Brooks, I think Dylan Brooks has come in and been a culture setter.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people look at him like, oh, he's the villain. Oh, he's the bad
He's a
guy.
goon for sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like if you look at throughout Devin Booker's career, and he's always one of the top 15 players in the league. When he's healthy and playing, he's not unguardable, but he's close to it.
Oh yeah.
But he's never had that guy that says, "Hey, you go play. If somebody chips you, I got it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it." And everybody knows that's Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that.
No doubt.
For Devin.
He's the enforcer for sure.
Right.
Kind of like if you're a Thunder fan like me, that's Lou Dort. 100%.
Yeah.
He'll attack Jokic if he wants, right?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
an
he
interesting
did.
back and forth. That was fun back and forth.
That was
for
some
sure.
kind of game. That was fun to
That
watch.
was
for
fun
sure.
to watch.
That
No,
was
we
awesome.
do have a couple of weeks left before the end of the regular season, of course. The West is still
Yeah.
all types of craziness,
Right.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
the Thunder have been.
Meanwhile, the East is kind of,
Still a level of excitement as well. But a couple last questions, at least from me, before we get out of here. And again, thank you so much for
Yeah,
taking time and joining
yeah.
again this afternoon. Give us your picks right now for both Eastern, Western Conference Finals in the NBA.
Okay.
And then we'll switch gears as far as Final Four picks and all that for college basketball.
So probably for the NBA, you got the West Finals. I personally think it's probably going to be the Thunder and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, with being a Suns fan, being biased, you want them to, but probably realistic. Suns are a year.
No Spurs, huh? Spurs are going out.
Well, I say that because of Jokic and Jamal
Yeah.
Murray combo. That I think that experience, and I think the Thunder's experience. Don't get me wrong. If anybody's going to break through that, and I don't know all respect to the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be the Spurs just because of who they are. If they're going to break through,
They're pretty scary right now.
now
But that playoff experience for the Nuggets, I do agree.
Right, I think the East comes out of the Pistons and the Celtics. I think that's who it turns out between those two teams, and I think you get the final series of the Pistons and the Thunder, and I think the Thunder go back to back.
I like it.
Pistons are a tough team right now. I will admit, if the Thunder met the Pistons in the NBA Finals, I feel like it'd be another Pacers final again.
It would
honestly,
be.
It'd be a tough one.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there'd be any clear cut winner. I feel like the series winner odds should be very close if that was the NBA Finals.
for
right
sure.
there,
I think so.
100%.
Detroit certainly exceeded a lot of expectations going into
Yeah.
the season. Kate Cunningham's been playing some amazing
Yeah,
basketball.
he could be MVP of the league.
I was going to say, a lot of people think he should be MVP, and I agree.
think so.
I think he's led that team fearlessly. And his assist to turnover ratio, because we were talking about that, is crazy. I think he's the first player, I think he had 10 assists, or at least 10 assists, 0 turnovers. First player in however long to do that in a game.
It's been impressive. It's been impressive.
He's a leader, but man, he can also score, too, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
For
I
sure.
like it.
So-
and you know, that's been part of the fun bits of basketball when it comes to the springtime. We are in March. We are in, I don't know if we can actually
March
say.
Madness.
Yes, we can.
March is
we're
already- yeah.
It's here.
It's fully here, and I will certainly refrain from all of my love for the Duke Blue Devils as far as filling my brackets and all that here over these next couple of days. But right now, I'm sure you've kept up with the D1 scene as well throughout the season. What have been your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts right now as far as what the Final Four would be in Indy?
There's a lot of really good teams. I mean, I think your team Duke will be there. I mean, they're just solid as can be. I don't know how you can pick against Arizona right now.
Yeah.
I mean, with the level. I mean, look what they did against Iowa State last night, who was a fantastic team, you know. So I got those two. I mean, I think you can pick and choose between, you got a Michigan out there that's really, really talented. I picked them 2 weeks ago to win the whole thing just at the depth that they have at those positions. I mean, you have a lot of people that unfortunately have had some injuries, this or that. So I probably throw Michigan in there too. And then, look, everybody knows, man, I'm biased probably to Coach Sampson, so I've got to put Houston in there.
They're a great team. Like the Big
Yeah.
12 has been. It's been a handful of years that the Big 12 has been the premier conference.
Yeah, for
just from a parity competitive standpoint. Houston's been the cream of the crop of that.
Yeah, and I mean, and like, look, maybe the guy that's been coach of the year nationally is right down the road from us. You lose JT Toppin, and you go to Iowa State and win. I mean, Grant McCaskey.
I was going to say,
What
I was
a
just
win.
about to say,
Definitely.
what a win. I mean,
Definitely.
they haven't lost yet
They have
since
not.
losing JT Toppin.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
is
and Coach
going
Sampson,
on the road.
Coach Sampson said that's the best player in the Big 12.
Yeah.
JT Toppin. Like,
Which is insane, and they lost him. It's
Incredible.
like that speaks to Tech's depth right now, or just
100%.
being well coached as well. Which
Yeah,
is,
very well coached.
Good for Tech.
Yeah.
I really honestly just have to say, in the Final Four, someone from the Big 12 will represent, because the Big 12 is a conference right now where you just go. You can go on a bad stretch. You can go on an amazing stretch. Like you've seen Iowa State lose some games they shouldn't have lost. You've seen them win some games maybe you didn't think they were going to win.
Yeah.
That's just the Big 12 for you. So I'm kind of like, Houston, Iowa State, Tech.
But-
I don't know, somebody from the Big 12, right?
Moments where Derek Peterson has been on the floor for Kansas. Kansas, they've played like that. They
Kansas,
haven't lost
right.
that many of beats.
And we can't forget to mention Florida Gators. They
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Florida.
their
Yeah.
front line might be as good as anybody
sure,
in the country.
yeah.
So
When it comes to the Big 12, though, I'm just kind of like, like I could say, UConn, Florida,
Yeah.
Duke, or whatever. Somebody from the Big 12, hopefully, because that
They will.
conference is a slugfest, no
well,
doubt
I
about
think
it.
you'll get to a regional final. It'll be 2 Big 12 teams.
Yeah.
In some region, it probably will be.
100%. And, man, I'm looking forward. It's going to be a fun March Madness. We had some good high school March Madness as well.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Yes, we
about
do.
that later on. But, yeah, man, it's been cool. I do have to shout out the Wellington Rockets.
Yes.
How about that win
Yeah.
over the ropes?
They
I think
won yesterday?
Two back-to-back
Wow.
top 10 wins,
Wow,
actually, in the
good.
playoffs.
Awesome.
So, tonight, Panhandle boys, like we'll talk about this tomorrow.
Yep.
Basically, we're splitting up 2 different days, guys. If you'll see this podcast in 2 different days.
Yeah.
Panhandle plays Seagraves tonight
Yes.
in
Wow.
Friendship Memorial, so I'm thinking Panhandle wins, and that would set up a Panhandle Wellington boys regional
Yeah.
final, just like the girls just
Must
had.
see.
So yeah,
Must
must see
see.
basketball.
Definitely
Must see
must
see
basketball.
basketball.
Yeah.
Now, before we go on this block right here, 2 questions or just 2 talking points for you. So you went to that Suns game, had a great experience. Kind of tell the viewers about that.
Yeah, so I tried to get my son, Colton, he's a big basketball fan. He loves, the Suns too. And so this is a great experience. I mean, to be there I love getting there early because I love watching those guys. I mean, you want to talk about guys that don't miss. Like, I don't know if these guys miss any of their shots in their warm-ups. And it's just the same routine every time. So it's fun to watch their warm-ups, but it's even more fun to sit there and watch with your kid and watch them get autographs of these kids. Get kids that they look up to, like the Colin Gillespies and the Jalen Greens, the Dylan Brooks. And
makes a kid's day.
And you know what? Credit those guys. Guys, they don't have to come over and sign autographs.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, they don't. There's nothing in their contract that says that. But these guys know these kids look up to them. And so every one of those players, even from the Miami Heat team, they were so gracious and came over there and signed autographs. So huge thank you and shout out to those guys for doing that.
No doubt about it. Your son's also a hooper.
Yeah.
And I think you told us a little funny story. We got to hear this. We got to let the viewers hear this
one of my
too.
favorite quotes.
Yeah,
by far.
yeah. Let's hear it.
So I asked my son earlier in the season. This is junior high basketball, Canyon, and he's great. He's a very confident kid. Not very big, 4'11", but unfortunately he's got my wife's height right now. So hopefully
gets up a little bit. Right,
gets up a little bit more. But anyway, I said, Colton, do you ever get nervous for a game? Like, does it make you nervous and stuff to play? Because his dad, I played every night, and I'm sure y'all did get a little nervous. He says, "No, Dad, I don't get nervous." I said, "Really? Why not?" He said, "Dad, why would you get nervous? They can't guard you." I was just like, "Oh my God, here we go, here we go."
Why would you get nervous if they can't guard you?
Well,
That's just you gotta repeat that quote. You gotta repeat that in life. You know?
I want them on my team
why
right
be
now.
nervous when nobody can stop me?
Yeah.
Nobody can guard me, man.
I love that.
That's a good life motto right there.
It is.
It
It is.
seems
That's
like
incredible.
you've taught your son well so far.
Yeah, we are very. I got two other kids very proud. My son Nolan has ambitions. Just real quick, guys. He has ambitions to get into the Air Force Academy. Want to brag
that's
on him.
cool.
Yeah.
And this summer, he's actually going to a camp at the academy.
Okay.
Wow.
And there was like thousands of kids applied. They only had like a 20% acceptance rate, and he got in.
That's awesome.
And I think that he's one of those kind of kids. I tell him, "I'm going to treat you like a cadet," and he's like, "I'm ready for it, Dad." And then he also wants to be a pilot, so he got into a flight school in Utah that has a 4% acceptance rate. And then my daughter, she's managing choir, works at the local HTO, Jenna, and she's just been killing it as well too. And then, of course, the rock star of our family, my wife, is a special education teacher there at Reeves Hinger Elementary.
Shout out, yes.
It's a big shout out to that school. Nicole Johnson, who's a best principal in the area.
Awesome.
So I'm blessed. I'm kind of the blessed one. When you go see our household and you see what our kids are doing, my wife's doing, I get a coach. I get to do the fun stuff.
Proc family's riding high for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Did you tell your son to talk to Emily Sims at all?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Good stuff.
he has talked to her, and so originally Emily was potentially looking to come into WT. So big shout out to her for where she's going. She's going to kill it there and just do unbelievable things there.
That's such a great story and cool stuff. That's awesome. But man.
Yeah.
Great times for the Lady Buffs.
Yeah.
Starting
Thank you, guys.
postseason. Yeah, absolutely. Great stories about the family.
Yeah.
Love it. Again,
I love it.
why be nervous they can't guard you?
That's the greatest quote that I've heard
man.
today,
I'm going to
truly.
stick
I
to
tell
that
it to
motto for a
my
long
own
time.
players. I'm like, just
Yes.
go.
Hey, my son's got some motivation for you guys today.
Yes.
Here you go.
Absolutely.
Right here.
Well, again, Coach, thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming
Thank you,
in.
guys.
Best of luck to you guys this Friday, of course, throughout the rest of this postseason. You guys have been so much fun to watch and keep up with throughout the year. And one can hope that the momentum continues as you get ready for the conference tournament and beyond.
Absolutely.
Just so you know, just for our fans, our men play at 2:30.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
obviously tune in for that, and then we play at 2:30 Friday. So then we both plan on playing on Saturday. So tune in for that.
Love
Awesome, sweet. Yeah, we'll be watching 100%, hoping to see a Lady Buffs championship. Right?
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
Yeah,
Yes,
awesome.
sir. Thank you,
Coach,
Coach.
thank you so much for joining us. Try to have you again maybe during the summer, man. We
Let's
just
do
got to
it.
chat it
Yeah.
up about anything
do
and
it.
everything.
Definitely,
Major League
definitely.
Baseball, sod
Yeah.
poodles, whatnot. I mean, everything. It's just going to be baseball
Come out
all summer.
anytime, guys.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you,
Coach. Thank you so much. Good luck in the tournament. Thank you guys for watching as well. We'll be back with another block here on local sports. Got to talk more about Wellington, Panhandle, all kinds of high school basketball still going on. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Map It Out. We had a talk with Coach Prock yesterday.
Yeah.
We're back for another day. We're kind of splitting days here on the
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, Coach Prock had to meet with us on Tuesday, going to the LSC tournament. Good luck to the Lady Buffs. It's going to be a fun one, and the Buffs as well.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing the results in those games. But we got to talk high school basketball. It is girls' state championship time. We are here.
Yes, sir.
Representing the 806. One, Panhandle Ets.
Yep.
What a season. Led by Riley Segura, ACU commit. That's my alma mater. Shout out.
Nice.
But, we were talking a little bit before this. They beat Cisco, and watching that game last night at Friendship Memorial, it's not just Riley.
Yeah.
she has a great supporting cast, especially at the 2A D1 level. Those girls are, I mean, maybe don't have as much talent as Riley, but a lot of them have grittiness, just like Riley.
Definitely.
And that's all you need at that level. And they've just been able to get it done. And a great Cisco team, they pretty much just control the game the entire way. And I'm like, man, this team is talented. I think they got state. I think they can do it. They can hoist that trophy, finally getting over the hump and getting to the state championship. But yeah, they win that game over Cisco. Just a talented team, and I'm happy to see them in San Antonio.
Efficient basketball is a really good way to describe how at least I'd seen bits of the game. We were talking a little bit before I got started here, and when we talked about the depth of this team, and even kind of calling back to our conversation with Coach Proctor yesterday, the level of just gritty play, of competitive play, not only is that the thing that you need to have alongside, of course, the God-given abilities, great coaching, like you need those things, but that level of those extra reserves, as I've said throughout these playoffs, you need to have that, and that's been panhandled throughout this entire season, and especially when it came to the other night. I mean, from your vantage point, from what you'd seen from that game, and obviously with Panhandle, they've been stellar, not just through this year, but throughout these past couple of years, of course, when it comes to basketball. Like, what has made this season special in your eyes? Like, it felt like there was kind of a culmination of all of those major moments in that one game just the other night.
Yeah, right. I mean, what's made it special is, for one thing, I said, Riley, cool, calm, and collected, and so is the rest of that team. I mean, you got Coach Ashley's daughter out there, Allie Ashley. Shout out, we say her every week. When we can mention her, she's got this shot on the free throw, top of the free throw line, really anywhere right there. This jumper that is like I don't know if I've seen her miss it, and she hit it to beat the halftime buzzer last night. And so she's got that shot. You got Evan Shadid, who also can shoot threes lights out. Yep. Honestly, she hit a couple last night. Paige Bixby really came on in these last few weeks, playing defense, grabbing steals, and just going the other way with layups and buckets. She can pass the ball as well. Addison McCoy was going to work down low as well, can get you a tough layup. I mean, really, just you can go on and on about that team. Elle Robinson, Broxton Robinson's sister. Yeah. It was so cool. Last night I saw her run up to Broxton after they won that game and they were about to take the court for their game. She gives them a big old hug, man, and they're so happy after they won that game. And I wish I got it on video, but, man, it's just such a special moment, brother and sister right there. And then the Panthers end up winning their game, too. We'll talk about that in a second. But, man, such a special moment. So cool. A lot of special things happening in Panhandle. But, yeah, that team is just so, like I said, calm and collected. Pressure doesn't get to them. Didn't really have to deal with much pressure, honestly. Yeah. I mean, that Wellington Regional Championship game was pretty tough. That was quite an environment, and it kind of got tight at sometimes. But, again, didn't really matter to them. They figured it out and moved forward. So, I mean, that's what's been special about this team, moving on to play in state. It's going to be fun. Clint's got those highlights for us and everything. It's going to be a great time down there in San Antonio. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I mean, that's just the grittiness of this team and kind of like never really worried about their backs being against the wall, doing what they got to do. And that's what's been special. And when you got a D1 player on your team going to my alma mater, I mean, leading the way, it's like, and she's only a junior too. Like she's got another year. So I mean, they could do it again next year. But yeah. They're looking to hoist that trophy in San Antonio. Yeah,
like postseason play, like you need to have that sense of urgency. Like you need to be able to you understand what the situation is, have that level of awareness. And a lot of moments, and I've seen a couple of games throughout these playoffs, certain teams aren't able to really answer that call. Some teams can start out really hot. Others, the very next possession, the very next quarter, things start to peter off a little bit. Things like start to get in your head a little bit more, things like that. So to really see how like them as well as a couple of other teams that have been through the playoffs, those are still making that trip or hopefully getting ready for that trip to the state tournament. You see that composure. You have to have that level of composure if you want to survive in these playoffs, especially this deep into the playoffs. So props to those who still been playing some really, really good basketball throughout the area, man.
No doubt about it. All right, number 2. Yeah, I think we've said this the last few weeks. Death, Texas, Nazareth girls basketball competing for a state title. And that's just facts. Yep. Going for number 27, I believe, which is, I mean, you want to talk about dynasty. That's just like, that's even past dynasty, right? That's just like, we're basically expecting a state title every year.
Yeah, speaking of composure, like if there's ever a team that understands the situation, understands the program, understand what is at stake, that's been Nazareth to a T. You know what I mean?
100%.
So props to them for sure.
And I mean, it just seems like they reload, right?
Yeah.
And it seems they have enough size. I mean, more than enough size at that level, and playing a great game against Gordon, who was by the state standards the number one team in that bracket coming in, or at least in 1A, I believe, coming into that game the other night on Monday. They really didn't fall under pressure either. So Nazareth gets a big lead in the first half. I think it was 28-13 at one point. Gordon closes it a little bit. They close it quick in the second half, in the third quarter, get it within 3-4 for most of the second half. I think they got it within 2 and within 1. I don't believe Gordon took the lead in that game, though. That's what's great. I mean, when they had a chance to take the lead, it seems Nazareth came through with a good defensive play, a big rebound, something like that. Even after having that lead and kind of giving it away, still didn't matter. They didn't fall under the pressure, didn't give away a lead, just did what they had to do the rest of the game.
Efficient basketball.
And like I said, I believe they didn't give Gordon a lead in that game at all. It's kind of going back and forth between games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a gritty game right there themselves.
Nice.
And I mean, I think some people might say that was the state championship game in that bracket right there. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Anything I think can happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, 1 versus 2, you definitely like to think that. And Nazareth just wins an absolute tough game. It's so fun to watch, and they're going to San Antonio as well. So
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said, just a great program over there.
I mean, and obviously, of course, we want every single team around here to come back with hardware. We want everybody to come back with the grace of highlights, all the things, so on and so forth. When you do get into teams that, as we even spoke about towards the end of this regular season on the girls' sides of things, the teams that, like, we could already pencil in not only making that trip to San Antonio, but having a real legit shot for some hardware.
Yeah.
Again, the conversation almost starts and stops with Nazareth girls. Absolutely.
Right. That's like this. They're the standard for this area, pretty much. Because, I mean, they've won that many state titles, going for yet another one. You basically just expect the Swiftettes to be in San Antonio regardless, man. And it's a great program to watch. I also got to shout out Groover.
Yes.
They were this close to making it to San Antonio as well. A double overtime game against Lipan. Very, very tough program. Shout out to them. Always a tough program. Really fighting. Probably usually getting to the Final Four, I believe, most years. Just a commendable program for sure.
Very, very consistent.
Yeah,
very consistent.
Very consistent. And Clint was telling me I think he usually sees them late in the playoffs. He gets to see a game of theirs at some point. So, Groover was right there. I think it went from like 48-48. Then after the first overtime, it was like 55-55. And then they kind of, I don't know, maybe they got a little gassed in the second overtime. Lipan just kind of took over. But man, what a game! It was a fun game to watch. I watched it on NFHS and the entire way, just could tell that crowd was just both sides,
Yeah.
And to come out on the losing end of that game is definitely it's a heartbreaker. It's tough, but I mean, man, shout out to Groover girls.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's always a shame with the amount of teams that we had and those teams getting eliminated throughout these past couple of days. Like we go back to some really, really fun games, really getting ready for some fun games. Of course, unfortunately, some of the bigger teams, or really just most of the teams, being eliminated at this point in the year. Like to still be able to play at this level, to still have that same level of intensity. Mm-hmm. But along with that, one of the other things that we've spoken about, to still have the entire town behind you. Like I've seen a lot of great conversation, hearing a lot of great conversation, seeing a lot of great videos, photos. Like to see the entire town. Right. I mean, as Groover is. I mean, Groover is like they ride for their for the team, they ride for the programs, much like all the teams around the program here. But it's just something that feels really special on the outside looking in, seeing how Groover does it on a year-by-year basis.
For sure. And they kind of made it tough on Groover fans on Monday night. Yeah. They had the boys at 6 o'clock and the girls at 7 o'clock. But once the boys got done, which they won 72-43 in the region semifinals, big win for them.
Yep.
After that game was done, Corin was telling me she was there. She said they showed up to the game, had the gold ball and everything,
awesome.
and they were supporting the Lady Hounds,
That's
which
awesome.
that just tells you everything you need to know about Groover. They love each other, support each other. Small town communities, man, they've got your back 100%.
Yeah.
They showed up and were supporting Lady Hounds. Sadly fell just short, but still a phenomenal run for them. I mean, just Groover sports across the board is awesome. We just got done covering Bailey Maupin's senior day over there at Texas Tech. Yeah. I was on air the other night saying, like, man, what a time for Groover right now. Bailey Maupin's a celebrated player. Girls and boys making a deep run in the postseason, usually across all sports.
Yeah.
And Groover ISD is just popping right now, man.
It absolutely is.
It's just a great place to be. But we got to talk boys now. Still got several teams left. Really got to lead with this on the boys. We get another Panhandle Wellington regional championship game. Already saw it in the girls bracket.
Yeah.
We see it again in the boys bracket. Like you said, must see basketball. It's going to be, kind of similar with what the girls were. Faced them 2 times already, both gritty games, probably at the 2A level, the toughest game both of them had played all year, at least opponent for sure in 2A. And I think it was pretty close both times for the boys too. I think maybe within 10 points each time, but Panhandle wins both those matchups. It's going to be another great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's going to be played over at Canyon High School. And I could see that gym being packed. 100%.
It 1,000% will be packed. I mean, when it comes to 2 programs like this, I mean, you've had a better vantage point of how their seasons have been than I did this year. But what would you say is going to be what's the one thing that you're excited to see the most? Better yet, like, I mean, again, the atmosphere is going to be amazing. The stakes, like, I love these types of matchups, especially when it's in the postseason to determine a regional champion. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to stand out to you the most?
The thing is, this is going to be, like I said, grittiness for the girls team. Grittiness for both these teams right here. It's going to be an emotional matchup, 100%. Wellington beat 2, I believe, top 10 2A teams on their way to this game.
Yeah.
So they're riding high right now. Yeah. They are, I mean, they've figured something out, obviously. Wellington is motivated. They're not letting rankings determine how they play.
The momentum is firmly on their side, but that's the beauty of basketball. That pendulum can swing
at any moment.
Any moment.
Because the thing is, Panhandle is very talented as well. They caught fire against Seagraves last night. And watching them play, man, they're down in the first half, right? Yeah. They're down by like maybe 10 at one point. And you're kind of thinking like, oh man, Panhandle's going home, right?
Yeah.
Nah, man. They get it within 7, I think, at halftime. They come out in the second half. I think they go on like a 15-0 run or something. Maybe not that. I might have exaggerated that a little bit. But they go out in the second half and they take a huge run on Seagraves and basically are up by 15 by the end of the maybe not 15, but 10 to 15 by the end of the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they end up getting to like, I think, a 20-point lead. So, I mean, they adjust, they figure it out, and a great game against Seagraves. Nice. Towards the end of the third quarter, Caden Arms, right, holds the ball for a little bit, dribbles up to the center of the arc or behind the 3-point line, puts up a shot, and it hits off the back part of the rim. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be done. But I was like, wait, it bounces for a little while, then comes back down and hits as a 3, and the crowd just absolutely erupts. Yeah. And he got fouled. So he steps up. So here's the thing, like, it's like 1 second left, right? And, I got a great video of him kind of getting pulled up. He's like, oh, nice. Man, that was great. Yeah. So he misses the free throw, though. However, Jacob Hirschberg comes in there, 1 second left, tip shot, gets it to go, and they're up, like I said, they're up by 12 or 13, and the crowd is just wow as the third quarter ends, right?
Yeah.
And so they found momentum, they figured it out, and they figured out a way to not only win, just to be like, you know what, we're the better team.
Yeah.
We're more dominant. What are we doing like playing like this in the first half? We're gonna do this in the second half, and man, they figured it out, and they're moving to the region championship game.
Yeah.
However, Wellington, just as tough, obviously.
Definitely.
And playing those 2 top 10 teams, and beating them, like you asked, what's going to be special about this game? It's going to be an emotional game. Yeah. It's a third district meeting, right? And you want to make the state semifinal. you want bragging rights. It's like you're getting. I wouldn't. It's definitely not the magnitude of Amarillo High and Tascosa, but for them, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You're coming into that, and you're just like, we gotta beat these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how the girls felt. That's how those student sections were like, ha ha, we got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the excitement of this game is going to be big time. And I do got to say, we haven't been to a Wellington game, boys game at least. But I do got to say, man, phenomenal run for you guys, beating those teams that you did. Ropes and I have to remind myself the other team, but Ropes was like number 7, I think, in 2A. Shocked them, man. Beat them, and so I mean that's why this game lines up to be so special, and I'm just like, oh, let's go, man. Let's see it.
I love it.
I definitely want to be at that game because the atmosphere is going to be electric, and I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal 2A game. But
playoff basketball is so much fun to keep up with, to be around. Like, we know football is football here. Volleyball, incredibly talented teams around the area as well. But something about the basketball playoffs where it may not be to the tune of the NCAA tournaments as far as like upsets and like Cinderella stories or whatever the case may be. But like even with the given circumstances, with given teams, like it is still really anybody still can win depending on the matchup.
And that's the thing that's special. Like, you kind of find a hidden gem when you show up to a game like that. Like, you expect March Madness to be crazy. You expect those games, Final Four, crowds going crazy. When you go to, like, a Panhandle Wellington girls basketball game in Pampa at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and you're, like, thinking somebody across over New York's probably like, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
You go to a game like that, you're like, this atmosphere is special. You can tell these people really care about their teams and they want to win, and it matters to those people. And so when you go to a game like that and you see an atmosphere like that, it's special and it's unique, and you're like, I never would have known this existed if I didn't get this job, for one thing, and wasn't scheduled to go to this for another thing. And then you show up and you're like, man, I'm glad I went, because it was just like, it was a live atmosphere. Both sides, student sections and the fans, are happy you showed up. They're like, "What's up? What's going on? Thanks for covering this game." And it's that's what makes it special. That's what's special about high school basketball, especially in Texas. I mean,
for sure.
Football, basketball, baseball, everything. I mean, people will go crazy for their high school sports, especially if it's their kid, right?
Absolutely. Like that's one of my favorite things about this, being able to, whether it's just flat out being in this space, whether it's doing something like this with yourself. I mean, we've known each other for a little while now, and like to be able to see not only the great games and great performances, but the growth of some of these players throughout the years. Like, we've been in this for at least 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
We've seen full on senior classes come through this area, student athletes that end up being one of the more recognized, one of the more memorable players that AISD has to offer, or CISD has to offer.
Right.
Those who get ready to go to WT or Texas Tech, the list goes on and on. It's such a special thing to really be able to experience.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Especially those smaller schools, and just like sometimes bigger, those smaller schools, those atmospheres that you get.
Definitely.
It's so awesome. Speaking of smaller schools, we do got to talk about the Groover boys team.
Yes.
We just mentioned they won 72-43 against Plains the other night. Now they get new home at the FUB. At the FUB, man, that's going to be cool. That's going to be special. It'll be fun, especially I keep talking about smaller schools. When a 2A school or even a 1A school gets to play at a place like that, at a college, at a bigger arena, it's so cool. You're like, man, I get to do this. We're playing late in the playoffs. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. Some teams rise to that occasion. Some teams might get nervous for that occasion. You know which one Groover is? Rising to the occasion 100%.
Back to the certainties. Death, taxes, Groover boys basketball.
Groover athletics. That's all I can say.
Yes,
Groover athletics, 100%. Definitely. They're going to try to find a way. And even if they don't find a way, they did it by giving 100%, 110%. Nice. So, I mean, this Groover boys basketball team, obviously, very special, led by Mason Langford. I think he was Press Pass Player of the Week this last week. I told you 2 weeks ago, I said, I got to see them for the first time when they played West Texas to clinch the outright district title. Just athletes, dude. And the thing is, it's not, like I said, not football players just like, oh, let's try to just score inside the post. No, we're shooting threes, we're dunking, pull-up jumpers. Trenton Aranda's been special.
Lockdown defense.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can do it all.
Briggs Satterfield playing on that team. We know who that is. That guy's special. Just a lot of basketball play, not just football guys like, oh, I guess I'll play basketball. Like these dudes look like they're playing AAU and everything too. Like at the same time, it's not just football, it's not just track. It is just guys that know how to shoot the basketball, know how to pass, how to just play the game.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they're top 3 in 2A. They're not up there for just no reason.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean to be beating a team like that at this point in the playoffs is special. I mean, it just tells me everything I need to know. They're playing a new home team that's 26-9. They're Gruber's 22-0. Haven't lost yet. No pressure, right?
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
And if there's ever a team that can thrive under pressure, it's Gruber.
Exactly.
100%.
Playing at the FUB and everything. But I mean, yeah, that's just the team is just very close. I can tell, and you know they figured out, like you said 2 weeks ago, they don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
They don't miss a beat at all. They're like, okay, we go from this discipline to this discipline. No need to catch up on like the mechanics and you know how to play the game of basketball.
Yes.
Which basket is ours, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
It is like, no, we got it. We're stepping on the court and we're going to work. You know?
Yeah, and I think that goes back to just the beauty of not just the high school scene, but just youth sports in general. You know what I mean? Like seeing that team from afar, it looks like a team that have played sports that they've known each other for their entire lives, and in most cases that probably is the case from the very moment you start up with kids basketball or kids inc or whatever, all the way to where they are now. It's such a fun thing to have that level of relationship, to have that level of camaraderie with your teammates. Whether you've played your entire lives or whether you've just known each other over the past 4 years and change, like that's the such a special thing about seeing these teams, because they've probably been together from the very, very earlier stages of sports to now see themselves be the types of players, the types of young men and women that they are. It's incredible.
Right. So, yeah, just going back on that, Panhandle Wellington play Canyon High 6:30 Friday, and then Gruber New Homer Thursday 7 o'clock at the FUB.
Nice.
And then shout out to Boys Ranch playing Valley in the region championship game at Dimmitt High School Thursday 6:30. First time Boys Ranch has made it to the region championship in that bracket. So shout out to Boys Ranch. Sadly, haven't been able to make it out to a game, but they're trucking, man. They're moving on, and it's awesome to see that. I mean, plenty of history being made, including Boys Ranch now making it to that section, that game for the first time.
Absolutely. I mean, I know it's basketball, but I do want to send a shout out to my guy Lewis Kelly, Coach Kelly down there at Boys Ranch. Real great dude. Being able to see him and being around him like as young kids throughout high school and things like that, to see him in this spot, being in the position that he's in with Boys Ranch, along with a lot of great things, just regardless of athletics at Boys Ranch happening over these past couple of years. Yep. It's been said, but it's for very, very valid reasons. They have a lot of momentum moving forward into this next season, so I'm very excited to see what they're able to do.
No doubt about it. Looking forward to it. And then in Division II, 1A, Nazareth boys are still in it as well, taking on Whit Harrell, who beat Texline in a double overtime. I think it was just overtime. But, big win for Whit Harrell, beating Texline in an overtime game like that. I believe it was like 78-74 is what it was.
Nice.
But, yeah, Whit Harrell, I think that was technically an upset. I think Texline was like number 5 and Whit Harrell was number 15. So, big win for them. They get Nazareth at Littlefield High School Friday at 5:30. Should be a pretty good game. Could be a slugfest type of game at that 1A level. We'll see. Nazareth trying to match what the girls are doing, obviously. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, that should be a fun game in Littlefield. Finally, our biggest school saved for last. Our biggest school still left, West Plains. Here's the thing. We didn't disrespect West Plains by any means. We didn't sell them short.
Yeah.
I don't know if we gave them enough respect or set the bar high enough for them, because, we thought with kind of how everything has gone down in that district, they have a chance to maybe step up and be the leader of that district. Boy, were they.
Yes, they did. Yes,
undefeated.
They did.
I don't know if they really got tested in district throughout the entire season. Mm-hmm. I'd have to go look back at their non-district schedule, but I mean, goodness gracious, the West Plains Wolves, man, they stepped up. We didn't set the bar high enough for them. We didn't put expectations high enough, I guess, because we were saying like, yeah, they're good, man, they're balling. They got kind of like we say Groover, they got football guys stepping out on the court, and everything. But I mean,
Yeah,
goodness, yeah.
To the greatness of in the depth of that district as well. I mean, yes, there were a level of we think West Plains will do well.
Yeah.
Kind of a similar thing with my assessment with Amarillo High before they got started with their playoff run. Not many people, I believe, had this level of success in the cards for West Plains when it came to basketball this year. So for them to not only meet those expectations of being a competitive team in the district, to far exceed those expectations by, I mean, for lack of a better way of saying it, handling business with the entire district
Standing on
to the
business,
point where
man.
they've been literally unblemished when it came to district play. Like, this was such a phenomenal season
No doubt.
for West Plains. Again, obviously we love for it to continue, love to see them make that trip down to San Antonio as well going into next week. But like right now, I want to definitely get ready for this game because, again, I do think that they have a really, really good shot to make that trip to San Antonio. But just to reflect as of where we are now, there have been a couple of teams that have been surprisers, like some teams that just out of nowhere, boom, they're on a whole different type of
just
heater.
perform better than you expected when even with you if you knew like okay they're going to be good, but man they're better. They're better.
Yeah, no hyperbole. The West Plains Wolves are at the near top of that list of teams.
No question.
Who had the set of the set of all valid expectations of win more than you lose, compete for a district championship, compete for a playoff spot, to then turn that into do work with your district.
Just keep, achieving those goals and doing more.
Yes, you're kicking
Nothing
the door
better.
down in each and every obstacle that has been in their way.
Yeah.
And again, great leadership, great coaching at the top there as well. So they have the pieces. They really do.
Yeah, exactly. And they're taking advantage because, I believe they're pretty senior heavy. There's just a lot of upperclassmen on that team. Football, basketball, baseball, and in track. They're probably going to graduate a lot of guys. So they're taking advantage of what they have right now. And that when you see that, sometimes expectations fall short.
Yeah.
Not for them. They keep exceeding expectations, and it's so cool to see. And the thing is, we kind of keep thinking like, okay, can they win this game? Can they keep moving on? Like we still are like we're kind of not setting the bar high enough. They take on Burke Burnett, 31-5, 7:00 Friday at Childress High School. Burke Burnett, a great team, but West Plains, they've got West Plains, I think, ranked above Burke Burnett.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just like. It's not like we're like saying at what point is West Plains gonna kind of show something like human nature or whatever, but I mean they're not doing that yet.
No.
They really aren't. I mean because they're 31-5.
Yes.
Which that's crazy. They've only lost 5 games. I don't know if I even realized that. Keep surprising. You know what? I'm not gonna make any picks. I'm not gonna say anything. Just keep surprising us. Just keep showing out, West Plains. It's fun to watch. Especially with that school being so new.
Yes.
Still very new, and they've already had so much success in that little time. Keep doing it, West Plains.
Absolutely.
I love watching it.
Like the way that football came in, obviously the waves that they made over these past couple of years. Volleyball, I mean, technically, we're the first team to really get the momentum going when it came to success for West Plains High School back 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now with basketball making the waves that they've been able to make, and the question then will become, how are they able to reload rather than rebuild? Again, the depth of just great kids around the area. I don't think it's going to take much time after this season for them to have another great team out in front and make something happen when it comes to this district and throughout this entire area. So it cannot be overstated, the amount of success and the credit that needs to be divvied out for said success with the West Plains Wolves over these past few years.
Right, 100%. Well, shout out to all our teams. Panhandle and Nazareth girls playing for a state title in San Antonio tomorrow. On Thursday, and then several boys teams still left. Man, we're looking forward to it. Hanging on to basketball season as much as we can. It's been such a great basketball season. It's going to be so sad when it's over, right? But we're still going. Several teams still left. A lot to be excited locally, plus WT, men and women playing in the LSC tournament. We'll get into some more conference tournaments, or just at least more D1 basketball. Let's talk about that here in a second. But let's take a quick break. Again, good luck to everyone still in the high school basketball playoffs. We love you, man. It's been awesome. 806 represent.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a quick break. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's talk some national sports now. Tournaments, Big 12, NCAA, just everything. Tournaments coming up for basketball. You know, it's a special time of year. Obviously, we're in that certain month that everyone loves to talk about, right?
That month
March
of chaos. Yeah.
Madness, the month of chaos. Yeah, exactly. What's the other name that you?
Third month crazy time.
Third
Which
month
is
crazy time.
Absolutely crazy.
I love it. Third month crazy time is great. I'll have to use that one too. March
sure,
Madness
for
and
sure,
everything.
sure.
But you know, kind of just diving right into it. I mean, we talked about it with Proc already. Big 12 is just as a slugfest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can go on a tough stretch and on a good stretch within weeks
Yeah.
of each other, right? And I mean, it's kind of like I said, my Final Four pick would be somebody from the Big 12, right? Because there's there's at least 5, 6 teams that are definitely Final Four capable.
Oh yeah, it's the best
National
conference in college
championship
basketball.
capable.
It's the best conference in college basketball. I don't think it's particularly close in 2026. To be completely honest with you, the SEC is fun. We'll love to see what Texas A&M is going to do, but safe to say it's not going to be too much. Just considering, just considering where the region, how things will be shaking out here in these next couple of weeks. But I mean, Big Ten, Michigan State's always been in that conversation. Michigan is still one of the top 5 teams in the nation.
Yeah.
But with Kansas, with Arizona State, who beat Kansas the other night, Texas Tech, whether it's TCU, even with a good week of basketball for BYU, they could then just be back into they might just fly under the radar or whatever the case may be. Like AJ is still the number 1 prospect, at least my number 1 prospect, going into this year's NBA draft. There's such depth with great teams as well as great players, not only in the college sides of things, but those who can easily transition into the NBA sides of things. Would be remiss if we didn't mention, of course, shout out to Coach Brock, Coach Sampson, the Houston Cougars.
Oh man,
I don't think it's outlandish to say they can easily go back to Indianapolis for the Final Four.
Sure, and also your prospect thing. That's a topic for another day. We'll talk about that as well. Kind of order our draft picks.
Yes.
But I mean, you got 4 teams inside the top 10 for Big 12, which includes the Houston Cougars, and then another team, Kansas, who's also inside the top 15, and TCU and even UCF are teams that are not bad. Maybe they make the tournament as well. I could see the Big 12 having several teams make the tournament. I think last year, SEC broke the record. Yeah, for was it 14 or I don't even remember. It was 13 or 14. I think SEC teams made it last year. Big 12 won't do that this year, but there will be a lot of teams. I've even realized BYU fell out of the rankings. Yeah, but I think they're still going to make the tournament. I mean, at least they should.
They can still be a tough out for sure.
Right, exactly. So I mean, like you said, it kind of just leaves you speechless. You're kind of like, it's an incredible conference, and it's no wonder guys get tired, or maybe we need a load management. Is that what they're saying over there in Kansas, right?
For an 18-year-old is nuts. Look, far be it from me to say whether he's hurt, whether he's injured, whatever the case may be. And in the moments where Darren Peterson is out there are a lot of greater flashes rather than he has 14 points on 14 shots. Not ideal. But I mean, we are talking about 18 going on 19-year-old guys. So there aren't too many that are immediately pro ready, and then you're able to get to that spot. You know what I mean? But again, that's a conversation for further down the line. But at least we forget though as well. Maybe perhaps the best team, despite all of that murderer's row of opponents in the Big 12. Yeah. Arizona, even with or without Koa Pete, is still one of the 3 to 5 toughest outs in the entire country.
Just like Tech without JT Toppin right now. They did lose to TCU, but I mean they went on a stretch. They beat Iowa State. Yeah. I mean, just that for Arizona and for Tech, it kind of just shows you the talent that those teams have. It's kind of just next man up, right? We recruit like crazy around the country. You lose a player like Koa Pete, you lose a player like JT Toppin. We got somebody replacing you, which, no disrespect to those players, but it's we can still win these games. We can still make a run in the tournament, which is
importance
incredible.
Of the NIL. You can't just give all of your money. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket. You have to divvy this out, and you also still need to have those who genuinely want to be there and be a part of this program to the point where, look, I don't want to get into all the far be it from me to say who gets paid what when it comes to constructing teams, but there's a better combination of talent in the Big 12, all that to say, versus a top-heavy Big 10, or despite a literally just Duke-only ACC conference. You know what I mean? Like they have been one of the major college basketball conferences, but that's been strictly from a history standpoint. When it comes to must-see basketball on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Whether it's just up the street in Lubbock, whether it's like it could be anywhere in the Big 12. This has been the premier conference in college basketball. If not for Duke, there will be a team in the Big 12 that will win a national championship this year.
So 2 questions for you now before we get into a fun question. Hasn't really been too great or tough this year. I mean, the records still speak for themselves, solid records. But do we got to consider the Big East? People probably already do.
Yeah.
Do we got to consider them as a power, whatever it is now,
I think
conference?
So. I think absolutely, especially for similar point with the ACC, the history of the Big East. That's been. I mean, if we're going into like true history and lore of these power conferences, and when it comes to basketball, the Big East was basically how the SEC was to football.
Yeah.
You know, from where we are now, like one of my favorite 30 for 30s, Requiem of the Big East.
Yeah.
Went into, the John Thompson era, Georgetown, went into Jim Calhoun, and went into even currently now with Hurley there with UConn. Like the list goes on there. St. John's has been absolutely fun to watch. Like it's one of the best places to play. You're going up the street and your home basketball game is in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That's a selling point in and of itself.
Which to me just says obviously some of these teams in football, don't stand a chance, right? Which I mean, I get it.
Right.
But I mean, just looking at the teams, like any given year, 5 or 6 of these teams at least can be in the rankings and contending for a national title. I mean,
one of those teams won
obviously.
back-to-back championships.
Yeah, and had a chance to three-peat if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just lost a bunch of guys. And shout out Donovan Clingan. I got him on my dynasty team right now, man. He's just doing good things over there for the Blazers. So happy that I have him. Probably going to be one of the best centers in the league in a few years, in my opinion.
Oh, for
sure. They can figure out stamina and got to work on cardio a little bit. But
definitely.
That's besides the point. I mean, St. John's, Villanova at one point in time was basically UConn.
Definitely.
I mean, Creighton, Providence, even Butler, even Xavier, Marquette, even Georgetown at one given point. I mean, it's just and DePaul, even DePaul. Like DePaul had a terrible year last year, but I think they were in the rankings like 4 or 5 years ago as well.
Absolutely.
So I think I feel like. We talk about the Big East and we respect them and we broadcast them, but I think we also got to make sure we give them credit as like they are a power conference in basketball.
100%.
Nothing else,
100%.
but in basketball, man, it's so fun to watch. Like they play some games, like you said, at Madison Square Garden. Like that's just, Big East is fun to watch.
A true Power 5 conference in every sense of the phrase.
Yeah.
Also produced one of my favorite college basketball moments ever, the Kimba Walker run.
Yes.
For
Cardiac Kimba.
Like to see that live on ESPN. I was in San Antonio at the time. And just seeing it, like the way that my jaw was on the floor.
Oh, man.
Seeing that moment, not really even knowing the magnitude of the moment, and certainly didn't know what that led into, just running the table and ended up winning the national championship.
Right.
That's what college basketball is all about. That's what this time of year is all about.
Special player. It reminded me of the half-court shot. Who was that?
The missed half-court shot? Gordon Hayward.
It was just barely off, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had this half-court shot in my mind. I was like, what was that with Butler or whatever? But yeah, Gordon Hayward, man.
And Brad Stevens, objectively, one of maybe the 3 greatest basketball minds in the past
100%.
Quarter century. Like from his success with Butler to his time coaching the Celtics to now running the Celtics as a GM or president of basketball operations. Like there aren't too many that have that level of success at all levels in Brad Stevens.
Right.
Another product of the Big East.
No doubt. All right, 2 things. Real quick, give me your final 4 that you got right now. I'll give you mine.
Give me Duke because obviously, you know what I mean?
Go Blue Devils over here.
I'm excited for Saturday. We'll put a pin to that. We'll get into that next week. I do believe that Arizona will be in for sure. If they're not in the same region, then I still think Houston is in there as well. Like until Kelvin Sampson holds up that national championship, he will have absolute dogs on both ends of the floor to compete. So give me Duke, Arizona, Houston, and you know what? I'm going to say, and it's chalk, and I get that, But that Duke and Michigan game, I do believe, has the makings of another Final Four, national semifinal type of matchup. So give me Duke, give me Michigan, give me Houston, and give me Arizona for my Final Four.
Sweet. You know, every fiber of my being wants to take Texas Tech just because I love watching them. Man. And I'm rooting for them for sure. But without JT Toppin,
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Tough.
But without JT Toppin, it's definitely going to be very, very tough for the Red Raiders. I'm going to start with Houston.
Yeah.
That's a tough team. They are playoff built, 100% tournament built. Give me UConn as well.
Yeah.
UConn just knows how to play in the tournament. You know, I'm kind of just trying to be upset here. You know, a little bit.
I like it.
You know, because like. I want to go with Duke, but like, I don't know, man.
And, you know, that is something that we're definitely going to ask as we get ready for the tournament. Who is the one team that will truly fly under the radar and make a run? We can get to
no doubt about it. I mean, like even like the Bamas of the world, or Purdue's kind of just been forgotten about because they've taken some bad losses.
Yeah.
I'll just go out. So I said UConn, Houston. I'll add in Florida and give me a. You know what? Give me a Purdue or give me a Kansas, you know.
I like it.
Because I think it depends on the regions, too, as well. We got to see the regions because obviously we can't make these picks. Some of these teams might meet each other and get beat, so it's kind of hard to pick your Final Four. But, I mean, give me like I'll go Purdue, I'll go Houston, I'll go UConn, and I'll go Florida.
Nice.
Why not, you know?
That's
just basketball. It could be right. You could be right. Someone over there who we have no idea at Amarillo National Bank right there could be right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody could be right with their bracket.
I am excited to see how Channel 4's brackets will be looking.
Oh, man.
I'm sure this
I'm going to be collecting brackets. Don't worry. I'm going to be like, hey, man, fill out a bracket. Even those who don't know anything about basketball, you might be better than me. Like,
chances are they probably might.
You pick by mascots, you might have a better chance than me picking about the guy that has got, he's averaging 25 points a game. He's also got 5 assists. This guy's also got 3 blocks per game. Yeah, I don't know anything.
Exactly.
They're getting upset in the first round.
I have no clue what a Hokie is, but I sure know what a Tiger is. Sorry.
They're like, I like the Hokies. I'll pick them. And then they go to the national championship.
What exactly is a Demon Deacon? There's a wave, however,
there's some mascots. We'll ask that question later. Yeah. Some of y'all's mascots are a little questionable. You know what I mean? All right, fun question before we go.
Yeah.
Rick coming up with a lot of these
Shout out to
questions, man.
Yeah.
Rick is invested in us, and I love it. Hey, we got to have him on the show at some point. Just chat for a little bit.
Great dude.
So he said, give me 3 players, like anybody, 3 players or athletes that you would invite to like a backyard cookout. You know, playing cornhole, having some barbecue, having some hot dogs. You know, having a good time with the family. Okay. Who are you inviting? I'll go first. So, give me, for one thing, Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Just a skateboarder dude who's just chill.
Nice.
And, you know, everybody loves him. Seems like he's never canceled or wrong or anything.
He's a legend.
Right? He's a legendary dude, great dude. Give me more of a party guy, Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep.
I'll take that. That's a good time. That's a good time right there. He knows how to have a good time. And then you know what? I think I've named this guy before, but give me Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Personality.
Yeah.
You got to have personality at the cookout as well.
Like you need the guy who's nonstop jokes,
right?
Nonstop having a good time.
And just you're kind of like, what is he saying? But he's still a good time.
With a level of underrated competitiveness as well. Like if you're playing those, playing the game of horse or playing cornhole, I would love to have a quarterback on my team as far as playing cornhole for sure. I like
he's
that.
tossing it perfectly. Right?
I like that.
So,
I like
Zeke,
that.
Tony Hawk, and Jameis Winston. Who you got, Alan?
Real quick, because of course. Shout out to the A&M system, one of the greatest A&M athletes of all time. I have to go with Johnny Manziel. All
right.
Just for obvious reasons, of course.
Just like my Zeke pick, party guy.
Definitely.
A little more successful in the NFL career, though, Zeke.
1,000%. 1 trillion% better career. Yeah. Give me Johnny Manziel for sure.
Okay.
I'll say give me... You know what? Give me Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Give me Lamar Jackson.
Big trust.
Definitely.
Let's go.
Definitely. And also on some flag football type of time, I too would love to have a 2-time MVP as my quarterback.
Right.
Even if I drop the passes, I'm like, that's on me.
That's
I'm
on
sorry.
me. That's not your fault.
Yeah,
and he'll be like,
I'm just doing my best Rashad Bateman impression. I'm sorry. I don't know.
My
fault. My best Zay Flowers impression. I'm sorry. My apologies. Sorry. But
you hear that, Ravens?
give me Johnny Manziel. Give me Lamar Jackson. And you know what? I haven't mentioned this guy yet, so I have to acknowledge him, even if it's in the form of just showing up and being the presence that he is.
Yeah.
I want Shohei Ohtani in my barbecue.
Oh, all right.
I want Shohei
Nice.
Ohtani
Okay.
in my barbecue. Come
Sweet.
in with a little decoy. Come
Yeah.
in with the dog and everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing he cannot do.
I love it.
Give me Shohei Ohtani in
I
my
love
barbecue, and we're gonna have a heck of a time.
You know what? Let's just combine our barbecues.
Yeah.
It'll be one incredible time. Might
Nice.
be waking up the next day like, what happened?
That's a heck of a 7-on-7 game. That's
Yeah.
a heck of. I like that a lot.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Man, Alan, thank you so much. As
Appreciate
always.
you, man. Thank you.
Man, we have a good time here. It's
Yes.
our 8th episode
Yep.
of Map It Out. We're still going to keep it going, man. I'm excited for more. Going to figure out what we're going to talk about in the summer, obviously.
Shout out to Coach Prock again, our first guest with Map It Out coming
Yes,
on. Really,
yes.
really great conversation.
And good
Very
luck
much
again
excited for
to
them.
the Lady Buffs and the Buffs as they take on the LSC tournament.
Yep.
Man, the high school basketball teams that we got left in the playoffs, man, still an exciting time
Yes,
locally,
sir.
exciting time nationally. Plenty to talk about. We'll get more into things next week. Hopefully we have some state champions
Yeah.
that we're talking about
Best
next week.
believe.
So we'll see what happens. And some boys team left still as well. But again, 8th episode of Map It Out. Thank you guys for joining us next week for episode 9. We'll be back. You guys have a great day and a great weekend as well. Thanks for joining.